Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back to another week. July 31st, last day of the month. How's everyone doing? How's the weekend? Morning to all. What a question by Curveball this morning. What a question. What is the point of getting $10 million if you're not going to wake up tomorrow? Not sure. Damn. Who's blowing me up? Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Welcome back to another stream. All right. Big week. Some big earnings. Not much on the economic calendar, but a lot of good earnings. A lot of big earnings this week. Amazon, Apple. Those are the big ones, but there's a lot more sort of baked in. AMD, PayPal, Shopify, Coinbase, Square, Block, whatever you want to call it. JetBlue, not really important. Caterpillar. So some big ones. Airbnb. Yeah. So big calendar, big earnings calendar this week. Economic side, not too crazy. Yeah. F1 was another Max Verstappen dominance, man. I wish there was more competition over there. But as always, fun to watch. Leave it to your loved ones. I would rather wake up tomorrow than make $10 million, personally. Think there's more to live. There's more to life than money, in my opinion. All right. I'll take a look, Alter. You got it, man. So let's get started. Vamos muchachos y muchachas. You were here for the schedule, right? Here's the schedule. 7:31, July 31st. Let's do it. Economic earnings calendar. Let's pull that up. So here it is. Here's the main event of the week. Whoops. What happened there? Here we go. All right. Let's try to get this all in one. There we go. All right. So this morning, SoFi, nothing really too big there. Avis Budget Group, nothing really there today. So nothing crazy today. Tomorrow, Norwegian Cruise Lines, Uber, Pfizer, Caterpillar, Merck, JetBlue, Altria. So some healthcare over there. I am interested to see what Uber does. I think Uber is an interesting company. I've talked about this with the group. It's not a profitable company, and it might be one of those companies that never really makes tons of profit. But in my opinion, Uber is becoming a company that's almost necessary. I couldn't imagine a world without Uber. I couldn't imagine my daily. I don't use Uber on a daily basis. I would say I use Uber at least on a weekly basis. And I know a lot of people that probably use it on a daily basis. It would be an interesting world without Uber, right? If you think about it, your life would be less. Uber definitely gives us a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? It's like it makes your life easier. What's the word I'm looking for? It gives you a lot of I can't think about it. It's a word that basically means that your life is easier with it. Casual, not casual. Damn, I'm blanking out on this word today. Someone in the chat's got to say it. Convenience. Thank you. It's definitely convenience, right? Uber provides a lot of convenience for a lot of people. So interesting. I don't know if that relates to anything good on the stock, right? Because at the end of the day, the stock needs to make money. It needs to be profitable. It needs to have margins. It needs to do well for the stock to increase, right? But without Uber, I don't know. I really wouldn't enjoy life without Uber. It would sort of suck having to call like a cab to get, from the bar or to go to the airport, to go somewhere. Makes it very easy. So it's an interesting concept. I've thought about whether, Uber is something that I monitor here for maybe a long term, but I don't know. So AMD, well, that's for another time. That's just my thoughts, my back of my mind thoughts. I always like to throw in some of those back of my mind thoughts. Without Uber would be an interesting world. So AMD after close on Tuesday, Starbucks, Pinterest, MicroStrategy, some big ones there. MicroStrategy interesting for the chips, right? So that could be interesting. CVS, that's on Wednesday. Kraft, nothing too big there. PayPal, Shopify, Qualcomm, Robinhood. So some sort of smaller ones there on Wednesday after close. And then Thursday, Amazon, Apple, big boys. The big boys are on Thursday. So that's really the main event. What does Apple do? What does Amazon do? Those are definitely going to move the market. Coinbase, Block, Airbnb, DraftKings, and then Friday, Fubo, Nikola, Fisker. You got some of those bottom tier EV names here. Fisker, not really EV, but Fisker getting into it, and then Nikola there. So interesting. There's Open Door. If you guys are in that stock, remember that Open stock we talked about? I don't know if we talked about here on the live streams, but in the Discord we talked about that Open. That's reporting earnings on Thursday, so just watch out for that. All right, so a big week of earnings, that's for sure. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, Roku did go crazy, huh? Roku just probably really heavily shorted and, people getting squeezed out of it most likely. It's probably a lot to do with what you saw last week. Here is the economic calendar. If you guys want a Volvo XC40, there you go. Monday today, nothing really too much here. Tomorrow, job openings, construction spending, manufacturing PMI, nothing wild there either. Wednesday, ADP employment. Thursday, jobless claims. And Friday, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, hourly wages year over year. So nothing crazy here, right? No FOMCs, no CPIs, no GDPs, nothing major. But some small stuff to just sort of watch. We'll keep an eye on it in the pre-market. ADP, jobless claims. You got your business barometer this morning. Non-farm payrolls on Friday. So nothing crazy on the economic side. More, I think it's going to have to do with the earnings side. All right. Let's get back to the schedule. Tesla channel, definitely something I'm watching here. Tesla's been pretty stuck in this channel, so let's keep an eye on this. Netflix 430. Microsoft was able to break back above the 50 SMA on Friday. This is an interesting watch. Amazon broke out of a pretty key level on Friday as well. Boeing has been a pretty big mover lately. Boeing has pushed up pretty aggressively, moving into some big levels. There's a key level I think you watched today on Boeing. I'll point that out. Nvidia 474, and then CRM got a little bit of a downgrade this morning and breaking a pretty key level. So I figured this one would be an interesting watch. So that's the schedule today. Let's get started so I can look at some other stuff after, right? I want to look at Apple's, AMD's, Microsoft's, all the other names, Google's. I want to get into all the tech names here. So let's get started. All right, Nasdaq futures. Why you start Nasdaq, not me? Here's Nasdaq. Here's the very key level today. It's pretty clear. It's 15.9, right? 15.9 on the Nasdaq is without a doubt the must-watch level today. All right, we see 15.9 on Thursday. Right there, we see 15.9 on Friday, and we see 15.9 into close on Friday as well. So Where do we want to see the Nasdaq break above, hold above for longs today? We want to see that nice clean break and hold above 15.9 for that confirmation of further upside. That is what I would like to see for the long side today. Do I want to take a long here into 15.9 this morning? No, I do not. That is not really a long that I'm interested in right into that 15.9 this morning. So if we can get that break and hold above 15.9, I like that potential for more upside today. That is definitely something that I would be watching. That is a break above Thursday highs. That is a break above Friday highs. If we can get a break and hold above a double top high, then I think that leads to further upside. So it's all, my eyes are all on 15.9 this morning as we sort of slide into it. Now, is it possible to see this again, right? Is it possible we see a little triple top at 15.9? Yes, that is very possible today. That is something we have to be aware of, right? So if we start to push into 15.9, if we start to see a little rejection here, we have to be careful of this high and this double top here sort of rejecting in the short term this morning after maybe a little bit of pre-market upside, right? So we have to keep an eye out for that. It looks like there's some short-term demand that steps up here around this 780, right? 15,780. You can see there's a little bit of short-term demand that steps up here. So if you do short that 15.9 today, please be careful of that 780, right? This could absolutely hold once again. So be careful of that zone. Yeah, the big hold, right? The main story of this move, the main story here is the gorgeous hold of the 20 SMA again, right? That's really what it's all about. The main story, the main thing that I want to point out here today is just another perfect hold of this wick high, which I was looking for more like down to here, which we didn't quite get, the 400 level. We got just about 478, 500. But look at this, right, guys? Look at the blue line. Look at the 20 SMA. Look at the holds that came in on all of last week, right? Holds, and then eventually you get your push off that 20 on Friday. So we've talked about this 20 SMA every day for the last month, pretty much. I've told you how I brought it up around here where we might need a pullback into it. That's exactly what we got. If we come down and hold it, we could see more upside, and we pretty much did that again, right? If we go to the daily chart, we are still on the uptrend, right? And we are still grinding on that 20 SMA. So you can see right here, daily chart, hold, and here we go again, a very strong hold of that daily 20 SMA, all right? So that's very important, right? That is down here. We know that just held. That is right here from that Friday low, Friday pre-market. That's that Thursday low, Friday pre-market, and then you got your slide to the upside pretty much all Friday pre-market and all Friday during the day, right? So you still hold that 20 SMA. You are still in bullish territory here. So that's very important. If you get any downside, right? If you do get any downside here, here's your major sort of, I want to call it like an equilibrium level, sort of that middle of the road, sort of very important sort of, I'm just going to call it the 50% retracement in a way, which it actually sort of is. If we take this from the 20 SMA lows, it pretty much is the 50% retracement on the fibs. It's right around this 720 to 740 demand. The reason I think this is so important is because you can see you had previous support and multiple previous rejections here that you were able to hold above at sort of open here on Friday. That is also the 380 level on the QQQ, right? The 380 level, you guys know we've been talking about that 380 level. That's sort of that middle of the road level, in my opinion. You sort of have your bullish area, right, and your bearish area. And I think sort of the middle of the road there is around that 720 to 740 on the Nasdaq. So as long as we're above this, I think you hold. You have this sort of strong momentum here. You just got to watch this 15.9 today. You got to watch this 15.9, right? It's not just the short term. You can see 15.9 here, 15.9 here, 15.9 right here, 15.9 double top from Friday, right? And you're sort of sliding back into that 15.9 right now as we speak. So be careful being too aggressive on the long side at this point. If we're pushing in the 15.9, if you get a nice break and hold above, right, that is where I think this thing can push into the highs, right, into that 16,000 plus area, right? sort of up here. So that's the level today. 15.9 on the Nasdaq. Make sure you play off of it. Make sure you respect it. Be careful of longing into it. Watch the rejection possibilities, and then also watch for the break and holds above for that long confirmation. All right? That's the level. QQQ. So 380, nice hold on Friday, right? We talked about that 380, previous high, previous low, previous high here. We held above it on Friday. Very nice hold of 380. This is actually where I probably could have gone. I could have done better here on Friday. I didn't catch this upside, and I probably should have been a little bit more interested in just playing upside off of 380, right? Off the 380, because that really was the trade of the day. Just a QQQ long off 380 was a very nice trade on Friday. So nice little push there off 380 on the Qs. What's the level above, right? What's the level above? I think it's around this 384.70, 385 level. So you guys can see right here in the QQQ, we have this. This is down around 384.30, but I still am going to put this in a general zone here. You can see this previous low, right? These highs, this high right here, this high right here, and this high right here. This is all sort of right in that 384.70 to 385 level, right? That's sort of the exact same as the Nasdaq 15.9 this morning. So Nasdaq 15.9 is the same as the QQQ 384.70, 385 zone, right? You can see it right there. So that is where I think you need to hold above today. If I get back into this chart, let me scale this correctly for you, right? So you can see right here, 384.70, right? 384.70, 384.70. That's your little triple top there. Is there a possibility that we see maybe a little bit of downside off that level today? Yes, that is very possible. Is it also possible that we break and hold above for upside confirmation? That is also possible as well. So I think it's all going to come down to this level here, 384.70, 385 on the Qs, which is the same thing as the Nasdaq 15.9. Okay? ES. All right, so the ES looks to be around this little 46.16 level. Or you can see right here, 46.16, 46.16, right? And you're coming into that again. So really it's that Friday double top. That's what I would be watching today. Do we get a break and hold above Friday double tops? If we do, I think you get more upside towards this 46.25 level. If you reject it, right, you probably just trade within this channel today. All right, this is sort of that channel that you could trade within if you stay below Friday's highs. So really all about Friday's highs for me on the ES today. 46.16, 46.17, up to around 46.18, right? It's this little range here. I guess I'll put this here just to be smart, just to be safe. So it's sort of that 2-point range at these Friday highs. That's sort of what I would be monitoring today, right? You can see rejections in the morning, in the afternoon there, and then you can see we grinded back up and we rejected it again end of day. So pretty much just a Friday double top. That's what I'd be watching. Okay. To the downside, you guys can see where the demand stepped in. It's a pretty nice level. It's around that 45.93 again, 45.95 area. You can see previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous lows, and I don't really know if that's a legitimate wick there. Actually, that is. Yeah, that's intraday. Nice hold there intraday, right? And then you can see a hold again. So look how many times the market has reacted to this 45.93, 45.95 zone to either side, right? It's not just one side of one side reactions. It's both sides. It's rejections that turned into supports, right? So it's all just a very key area on the market, an area of interest that you can see is holding once again here from Friday. So in my eyes, as long as the ES is over this level, sort of this equilibrium level, hard word for me to say, I think you're on the upside. You're on that, you're in that bullish territory as long as you're above that 45.93 area. If you break back below it, right, then you flip back to the downside of the channel, right? So that's sort of what I'm watching there. 45.93, 45.95 demand. That is held here on Friday. You can see it held once again. Intraday Friday. Look at the hold right here, right? You saw this slip sort of around 1, 2 o'clock on Friday. And look at how quickly this demand popped this thing back up on Friday. So very much an area of interest down here. If you do get any downside today, please be careful holding shorts into this 45, 43 area. 93, 95 area. 45, 93, 45, 95 area down here. Okay? And then you're just watching that Friday double top. Very easy. Friday double top, break above for upside. If you reject here, look for the move into 93, 95. SPY, 1 hour chart. Pretty much the same ideas, right? You can see that 456.40 is this little double top here, 456.40, 456.40 right there, right? And that's sort of what held on Friday, the 456.40. Under the 456.40, you're looking at 455, right? Look at how important 455 has been on the SPY. Look at all these 455 reactions on the SPY. Multiple reactions to 455, and that is the exact level. Look at this Friday downside, right? Look at this Friday downside intraday. Where did the SPY hold on Friday? Look at that. Perfect 455 hold Friday afternoon. So it's very clear, right? As if the SPY is above, in my eyes, if the SPY is above 455, you can honestly delete this. I like keeping this here because this could be a little short-term bounce level to be aware of. But I think the larger term idea here is the 455 hold. That's very important. That has to hold to maintain bullish momentum here. If you break the 455, I think you flip. And then here's your supply today, right? Very easy supply. Previous highs, right? Here's your highs. And you're coming into it right now as we speak. All right, so 458 upside supply, and then that major demand below 455. That's really your channel that I'd be monitoring here. But we can clearly see a little bit of struggle coming in, and that 15.9 level showing a little bit of signs as well here, right? So just be aware of this 15.9 today. YM, Mr. Jones, pretty stuck in the channel here. So not too difficult to read. I would say you just watch this channel. Right? I would just say you watch this channel. That's really seems to be the Dow Jones as of right now. Demand stepped in very nicely here around that 35,400, right? And supply stepped in pretty clearly around that 35.8. So you got yourself a 400-point range on the Dow. Look to see which side it breaks. You either trade the channel, right? There's only a few ways to trade this. You trade the channel, longs here, shorts here, or you look for the break and holds of the channel, right? Break below and reject, break above and support and hold as support, or play the channel. There's really only 4 trades here. So that's all you watch here in the Dow, 35.8 to 35.4. Russell, I think it's about the same thing actually. 4-hour chart on the Russell, it's the same exact thing. Russell channel trade, 2000 and I call it 2000. You could put it up to the highs here, 2012, 2010. You could put it down at the 2005. It's sort of however, you want to make that range. I like to put them at the wick highs just so I'm aware of the entire level. So that's 212.50. 2012.50 is the wick high there. And the demand low comes in around this 1960 area. So 1960 to 2012, right? That's sort of your range here on the Russell. There's only a few ways to trade this. Shorts here, right? Longs here, or breaks of the channel. So that's the Russell. That's the futures. Let's get into some stonks. Tesla. All right. Do we have any data here at 8:30? Chicago Business Barometer. We'll see if there's anything that pops up there. I don't really know. We'll see if there's any movement at 8:30. All right, so yeah, interesting Tesla chart, man. It's definitely not providing, the best of opportunities. I don't love this chart by any means because we can see it's pretty stuck here. But I know once Tesla breaks this little channel it's in, there will be opportunity. So I'm waiting for it. I'm getting ready to strike. I'm just sitting here waiting for it. I want to see if Tesla can reclaim the 20, right? Because if Tesla can reclaim that 20 SMA, I think there is a very clean trade over the 20, over this 274 supply, and back towards this 290, 300 area, right? I think this trade could be very nice. If we can squeeze back above the 20, turn it back into support where we did multiple times back here. If we can get back above that 20 SMA, that is where I would look to target the upside on Tesla. Back above that 273, 20 SMA right here. That's what I'm looking for. If I go to the 15-minute chart, you guys can see right here, right? You saw that rejection step in back on Tuesday of last week on Tesla, right? So if you want to play long here on Tesla, I really do believe you want to wait until you get above this level. I don't think there's any reason to be long into the 20 and into these rejections that we've seen, right? So over the 20 SMA is where I'm looking to long Tesla. That's around the 273 level. And I wouldn't short Tesla, all right? I'm not interested in shorting Tesla after seeing how strong this 254 level is, right? 254 and 254. So you can see you have your very clear channel here. I don't really like trading in channels. I would rather just be the patient one and wait for one of these sides to break. Now, of course, right? Of course, there is potential supply rejections here. There is potential demand holds down here, right? To play. As always, in a channel, there's always a trade there. You could look for it, right? You could look for that 20 SMA rejection again. You could look for that 254 demand hold again. But I know the way Tesla is, just, Tesla being Tesla, I know once one of these sides breaks, that will be the trade to take. So I'm going to wait for it. I'm probably just going to set alerts here and just leave Tesla alone until it does that. Because Tesla can be naughty. She can be tricky in here, right? She can be very tricky, especially, right? Tesla's a tricky stock to trade regardless. And it gets even trickier if you are trading it within a 10-point range. Because it could really do anything on any given day and potentially not even follow the market on a given day. So, yeah, a little bit of a tough trade here, I'd say. I'd say proceed with caution until Tesla breaks one of these channel highs or channel lows. That's my personal advice. Netflix, 430. So, this is an interesting one, all right? Because we shorted Netflix last week, and we got some really nice profits on it. Under that 430 down into that 410, 415 area. Now, this was the level that I always was going to exit my short at, which I'm very happy I did because you can see we have previous highs, previous demand here, and we held that demand at 411 pretty nicely on Netflix, right? You can see that 4-hour low right here that held again right here. Now, I wouldn't long Netflix just yet until it is clearly over this 431 area. 431, 430, 70. I'm going to call it 431 because I like to be a little bit more patient. So I like to put that up to 431. I don't think there's any reason to long Netflix into these rejections right here, right? You can see 431, 431. And this was also a previous low that turned into rejections, right? So if you can get above 431 on Netflix, if there is a Nasdaq upside move, then I definitely think you could get, a push back into this 20 SMA level, which is around that 440, right? That's sort of your next supply up at 440. I think you could get that move, about a 10-point move on Netflix, if you can break above this 431. If you can turn this 431 into support, then I think you could get that move back into the 20, which at that point, we have to be careful of rejections again if we get up there. But for now, right, I would be more interested in the short side. I will be watching to see if Netflix pushes in to this supply high and sets up some potential rejection points. I will be looking for that again. If Netflix sort of pushes higher, 431, fails to get back over, I'll keep an eye on that. Here's my only concern, right? My only concern is shorting some of these tech stocks. All right, and this is something, pay attention because this is something that you're going to start to see if we move any lower here on the market. you got to start to be careful shorting tech stocks into the 50 SMA next, right? The stocks that have broken their 20s, start to watch their 50s. Because Microsoft was a small short that I tried on Friday back into the 50, right? So right here, I took a short here on Microsoft on Friday, took a small loser on it. You can sort of understand why I took this short, right? I took this short, on this candle rejection exactly off the 50, right? So you can see that's your 50, and we rejected it very nicely about 9:35 on Friday. Took a short, had some nice profits, tried to hold it out for a breakdown, and sort of got squeezed out here and took my loss right over that 50. So we can see, right, Microsoft held its 50 SMA, right? And so you might start to see some of these stocks that have pulled back, you might start to see that 50 SMA act as some support. And I think that's potentially what you could see here on Netflix, right? You can see that 50 that's sort of grinding higher. We moved into it, right? That 50 might hold Netflix higher. So just be cautious of that. If you are shorting anything, just be aware whether it's coming into its 50 SMA. It looks like it could be a level of support there on Netflix. You tried the same short? Yeah, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with that short. When you see something like there was nothing stopping me from taking that short from Microsoft on Friday, right? That's just a good loss. You have to be able to take good losses. It's not possible to not take losses trading. Right? When you see a 50 SMA rejection come in at a very important supply on Microsoft, sometimes you just have to react to it, right? That could have been if you saw, if there was any Nasdaq weakness on Friday, that's a fantastic trade. And we could be coming into today saying, what a Microsoft 50 SMA rejection, right? That's very possible of an outcome there. And I think it's a good trade, regardless of if you lost or not. So that's how I look at trading. I am not scared to say when I lose. I do not care to take losses. It does not bother me one bit. If it's aligning with my strategy, which is, supply rejections, demand holds, break and retest of the levels, I'm absolutely taking the trade with zero remorse, right? Because I'm comfortable with the size I trade. That's the biggest key. I think that's the biggest key that a lot of people can't get inside their heads is you have to trade with size that if you lose, you are okay with it, right? A lot of people trade with position sizes that if they lose, it's like a terrible day. Like their day's ruined. I'm screwed. My portfolio's down 50%, right? If you're trading with that type of size where if you take one loss, your portfolio is down 40%, you're really doing something wrong, right? So you have to be able to account for losses in your trading. And you have to make sure that if you take a loss, it's not a loss that ruins you, right? I'll never financially recover from this. I think that's still a big problem for a lot of people in trading. At least what I see is when they're taking trades, it's too much size. They're nervous. They're sweating. They know if they lose, it's going to be really bad, right? We can't not lose. So that trade on Microsoft, little loser there on Friday, I think a very valid loss. And, it is what it is. I don't care about it at all on this Monday morning. So that sort of brings us into that Microsoft trade, which I just talked about. Microsoft is back above that 50, right? Back above this potential demand here. You guys can see right here, previous lows, right? Previous lows. And Microsoft held that very nicely on Friday. So if Microsoft can maintain above this 335, right? Even if we get a little pullback here, if Microsoft can hold this 335 and this 50 SMA, I think you could get a little bit of a bounce off that level. Obviously, that's going to depend on what the Nasdaq does at 15.9 today. But if you hold, right, if Microsoft is above this 335, I'm more interested in the longs here than the shorts, right? I'm not interested in shorting back into this Thursday low, this Wednesday low, and this Tuesday low, right? We had a Tuesday low, we had a Wednesday low, we had a Thursday low right there at 335, and that's also the 50 SMA right there. So if you do get that pullback, I'll look for that long there. That's a very interesting spot on Microsoft. The only thing I'd be careful of if you do long Microsoft is the 20 SMA supply rejections. They are definitely still alive and still very possible. That's up at 343, right? That's up at 343. 343 is where that supply rejection could come in. So Microsoft, again, another stock, which I'll say again here, there's a lot of stocks in some very tight ranges, and there is going to be a time where these start to break out. But if you trade these stocks before those channel breakouts, you have to very much respect their channel highs and channel lows, right? You can't expect Microsoft. Maybe you get lucky and you get the squeeze. But if you do long Microsoft, you can't just expect it to break right through 343, right? You have to be a profit taker. If you want to take a real trade with actual risk reward and actual technical levels, right, you're taking profits into this 343 on longs. And maybe you hold a runner for the breakout. But you have to respect this 343 channel high, and you have to respect that 335 low, right? Everyone long the Nasdaq 100. Nathan knows, guys. Nathan knows. He knows. He knows what's going to happen. You guys need to know what's going to happen today. Just ask Nathan. All right, Microsoft. Nice little channel there. Watch that. Amazon. Interesting break here on Amazon, right? And another stock. Look, another stock that held that 50 SMA. There's another example for you. You got the breakdown into the 50. The 50 is where it held, right? Look at that 50 hold right there on Amazon. Nice upside since. Now, this is an interesting breakout here on Amazon. Here's why, right? Here's why I think this is a potential long play here on Amazon, right? Look at these highs, right? Highs, right? Look at all these highs here. Previous high, previous low, previous high, previous high. Look what Amazon just did, right? Look what Amazon just did at that 131.50 level. It just turned it into a new support, right? In the short term, at least, right? Of course, just in the short term. But we just turned that 131.50 level. We're holding above it, right? We're holding above it. So if Amazon holds above 131.50, right? If Amazon is holding above this 131.50, you are looking for that long, right? Maybe back towards this 136, 135, 136, right? So that's what I'm watching today on Amazon. They got upgraded. Credit Suisse maintains outperforming Amazon, raises price target to 176. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be watching if Amazon can stay strong above that 131.50 today and sort of push towards that 136, 137, right? So keep an eye on that. Look at that 50 SMA hold on Amazon. Very nice. All right, Boeing. This one's interesting. Now, I'm a strong believer that you always get the retest, so I will be waiting for that on Boeing. Whether that happens here or not is sort of interesting. Here's the reason why you might not get the pullback on Boeing. I'd like to see it, and I would be more than happy to see that because I would like that long back at 221 area. This has been a very long consolidation on Boeing, right? Very long. I mean, this is almost a year long. You've had a year-long consolidation here on Boeing. And this breakout, it might just sort of continue, right? That might be one of those breakouts that's been consolidating for so long that it might be hard to get that pullback. But keep an eye for that pullback. That would really be your best opportunity back towards that 222 area. A little retest of the breakout point. Of course, do we get that? Question mark there. Your big level here to watch above is 241, right? 241 today on Boeing, guys. I'm going to zoom out. I'll show you why. If I go to the 10-year, we got to go really far back here on Boeing. But this is the area I'm watching, 241, and here's why. So if I go back, I'm going to delete these SMAs for a second because they are irrelevant here, right? You can see, here's a good example real quick before I jump into anything else. Naive, can you send me a friend request on Discord, please? I think I asked you to do that last time. I don't have a friend request from you. You can just send me a friend request on Discord. I can accept it, and I can help you there. If you could do that, that would be much appreciated. It's much easier to deal there with Discord, in Discord. Send me a friend request. Send me a DM if you can, and I can help you there. All right? Here's a good example of why sometimes SMAs, aren't really useful, right? When you see this, this back and forth of the SMAs, it's just not useful, right? You can see that it's not worth anything. When the SMAs are useful, right, is when they're in a trend, like the Nasdaq, right? You can see, look at the Nasdaq, look at the SMAs, right? Look at the difference here. See that beautiful little trend there? That's beautiful. But when you look at an SMA like this, it's worth jack shit, right? This ain't worth nothing. So just make sure you know that before you use SMAs. It's not worth anything when you're just going sideways. All right, back in the Boeing. So you guys can see right here, right? 241. Right there, 241. Right here, right? That's the 241 I'm looking at. These two highs right here, this is back from December 2020, believe it or not. December 2020, 241. You can actually see the support that stepped in here at 241 back in March of 2021. And you can see rejections here at 241 this is back on August of 2021, right? So 241, I think, is going to be a big level before maybe you push into this 260 area up here. But I think this 240, 241 level is your immediate watch here. I think that is your first level to be monitoring here on Boeing. If you can get above that, right, and you can see the rejections that sort of stepped in on Friday. If you can get above this 241 level, I think that could set up your next leg higher. So that's something I would be watching on Boeing this week. Keep an eye on that 241 level there. Nvidia. All right, Nvidia. So obviously still a very nice trend. Obviously still just a strong-ass name. 20 SMA hold, right? You can see right here, beautiful 20 SMA hold, beautiful 440 hold. Nice little grind to the upside. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. This is what you got to watch today. You got to watch the channel, right? Another stock that's sort of stuck in a channel here, which isn't great, right? It's not great for trading opportunities, but possible plays here, right? You can see what held on Friday, clear as day. 464. 464 hold, 464 hold on Friday. You are not shorting Nvidia into 464, right? If anything, you look for a morning pullback, little morning downside, and then do the old Nvidia dance where it holds that 464 and then squeezes back up. That's something I will be watching. If we do see any kind of downside into 464, Friday's double bottom, I will look at that as a potential long opportunity. If you push to the upside today, just be cautious of that Thursday high. All right, Thursday highs 474 and Friday's lows 464. So what do you have here? You got yourself a 10-point channel, right? You got yourself a 10-point channel here on Nvidia. You're either looking for the maybe supply of 474, the break and hold above. You're looking for the pullback to 464 demand, or you're looking for the break and hold below. I don't like this trade. This trade right here, I'm not a fan of. This one, hold on. I'm not a fan of this trade right here. The break and hold below 464 for shorts in the 460. Not too much of a trade I'm interested in. The reason being is because 460 is a monster level for Nvidia. And I don't think it's going to break 460 very easily. All right, 460 is that previous support, previous high, previous very strong support that stepped in on Thursday after very aggressive downside. So I'm really not interested in shorting Nvidia into 460. Where I would look for Nvidia shorts, if any, would be a move back below 460, and then you see that downside. But that's definitely not happening yet here. So if you do get some type of a pullback entry here today on Nvidia, I would want to see maybe back to 464. I don't know if you're going to get that, but if you do, look for that long. And if Nvidia just sort of squeezes today, I would first very much be careful of these Friday highs around that 470, right? You can clearly see that 470 level. But I think here's what a trade you could look for today, right? You could look to trade the 470 hold into the highs, right? That could be a setup today. You could look for the 470 break today for a move into 474. I think that's very possible as well. You could look for something like this. Little 470 break, hold above 470, push into that 474. that could be a setup you watch today. So watch that Friday high and Friday low. That's really, I mean, to be quite honest, that's really what you should be watching today, right? Just the Friday levels. Watch the Friday levels on Nvidia. Do you break above them? Do you break below them? You got your 464 double bottom demand. You got your 470 supply. You're watching this channel on Nvidia today. You're looking to see if you can trade the outside of it. Last one I got for you on the schedule is CRM, and we'll jump into some other stocks after that. Here's why I wanted to bring up CRM, because this is an interesting little trade here. Obviously, I would want to see Nasdaq weakness for this to work, but this is an interesting breakdown. So you had some previous highs over here at 223 on CRM, right? 223. You have this previous high right here, 223, right? And it got above it, and it held above it for like 3 or 4 days here previously, right? You can see if I jump into like that, I'm going to jump into that 30 minute. I'm going to zoom in over here. You held this 223 multiple times, right? 223, 223, right? And 223 area held like a little triple bottom here. Now, this morning, you got a downgrade, and you got this little slip under that 223, right? Slip under 223, and a rejection at that 20 SMA and at that 223 level today, all right? So, very interesting, right? Very interesting. Watch that 223 rejection on CRM. I'm actually going to put it like this because I want to see the upside levels reject. So look at that little breakdown and possible rejection of that 20 SMA here today. All right, so I'm going to watch this. This could be interesting on the short term. Can CRM stay under 223 here and potentially see further downside? That is something I will be watching today. Guys, please don't ask questions like, will coin bounce back for earnings? I mean, come on. I need to say something, guys. No one knows what's going to happen. Do not ask people what's going to happen on the stock. It's not possible. It's not possible. How does anyone know if Coinbase will bounce back after earnings? No one knows. Stop trying to ask people for questions like that. It is not possible to guess that type of question. And alter ego saying no is also wrong because you don't know that. It could, right? You do not know. Pretending like you know is wrong, and it will get you to lose money in the stock market. I say this because I need to stop seeing people act like that because it is a sure road to nothing. It is a sure road to nothing, right? If you want to step into the stock market and you want to guess what's going to happen and not use any type of analysis, not use any type of, you just want to go out there and ask if Coinbase is going to go up, you're going to lose your money. And that's the brutal, honest truth. I say it because I want to help you. That's why I say it. I could let it go. I could just let people do stupid shit, right? You could get your feelings hurt because of the way that I talk, but it is the honest truth, and you need to hear it, okay? You do not know what's going to happen on Coinbase earnings. If you guess what's going to happen, best of luck, right? That's not how you trade. You trade off of technical levels. You trade with a strategy. You try to build an edge, right? You don't try to guess what's going to happen. So, Apple, right? Apple. This is an interesting one today, right? This is an interesting one. Look at this Apple hold at 195.75, right? Look at this hold. This is a very intriguing hold on Apple today. Why do I say that, right? Why do I say that? The reason for that is look at this previous high, right? Previous high. And look at that hold that is coming in here on Apple. Very, very good watch today. Keep an eye on this Apple hold of 195.75. Look at that little push that we're getting right off the hold of this double top. So eyes on Apple there off of 195.75 here. Keep an eye on that one today. Michael, I appreciate that, man. As always, yeah. Appreciate that. What did I want to get into? I want to go into, I do want to go into Google here real quick. I think Google could be a good watch this week because of some of its recent strength. I think it's around this 135.50 level that I would be watching, right? 135.50. Yeah, MYK, don't take anything I say to heart, man. I don't say this to be a dick. I say this because it needs to just come across a little bit as harsh as tough love, right? Because it needs to be sort of stuck into our heads. So hopefully, next time you just think about, how much of a dick I was on the live stream, and hopefully it saves you some money. That's why I say it this way. So 135.50. Watch that on Google, right? You guys can see right here, 135.50. See those supply rejections that stepped in. You can see some rejections here on Google. Rejection there, right? So if Google rejects here, good watch. But also, if the Nasdaq is strong, that could also be a nice little watch for a reclaim, right? If you can get Google to break back above that 133.50, that could be a nice, interesting little long there above that 133.50. Yeah, I'll break down the Costco. It's not something I'd be like running to, get into right away. It's sort of just a watch because Costco is still relatively strong here. There has not been a red weekly candle here on Costco, right? So I'm not too much interested in the shorts here yet, but just watch this level, right? 571. It's a big weekly level. I would monitor it. AMD is really not doing anything. If you zoom out on the weekly, AMD could be doing another flag here for the patient, right? Are the patient going to win here on maybe a little weekly flag and another breakout here on AMD? Is that possible? Possibly, right? Is that possible? Yeah, except if you're going to take a trade like that, you're going to be sitting through some really ugly shit here because AMD has done nothing for weeks. So I would wait to see if AMD can break 118 before you do anything here. Yeah. PayPal broke the 20 or the 200, right? We were looking to see if it would reject that 200 SMA. It's breaking through it. So you might get another push here on PayPal above that 200. It looks like your next level is around this 71, right? This little channel high. See this little channel high here? 77. That could be your next watch, up to that 77. Disney for Anna, and then we're out of here. Disney for Anna. Let's see. Yeah, just a channel, Anna. Right? 85 demand. 88 supply. 20 SMA up there as well. All right, so you really just need to wait for one of those sides to break, I'd say. If Disney can reclaim that 20, reclaim that 88, then you probably can get that push, right? You can probably get that push into over 88 into like this 90, right? So 88, keep an eye on that. Oh, God. What do you want? What do you want to look at this stock for? What is this? This is what we're looking at. Here's your intraday volume on ITOCY. Really good technicals here, right? Look at this. Look at that. That's real nice. Nice little, look at that. This is a nice demand zone here. Little supply over there. Nice little supply right there. Nice. All right. That's all I got for you. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Watch the Nasdaq. Watch the Nasdaq 15.9 today. You are pushing right into it. That is going to be your main watch. 15.9. If you get above that, possible upside opportunities. Look for that break and hold. Look for that momentum over 15.9. Yeah. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Be safe out there. Be smart. Live stream schedule this week. I might miss a day. So I might not be here on Friday. So just be aware of that. Friday, potentially Thursday as well. I'm going to Denver to go golfing. So I'm going to be golfing in the mountains. I've never done that. I'm very excited for it. And I might possibly I probably won't be here Thursday, Friday for the most part. So, yeah, just want to give you guys a heads up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday streams are still good to go. Hope you guys enjoy them. I hope you guys enjoy the free education we do here, the brutal, honest truth that I provide. Sometimes, I feel bad about it, but I think it is valuable at the end of the day. So press that like button if you guys could. Let's try to get to 1,000 likes. We got about 1,600 people here. If we can get 1,000, that would be great. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We do this every day starting at 8 a.m. Sometimes I am out, like this Thursday, Friday. But for the most part, I don't miss much of any days here every single day on the live stream. So thank you guys again. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out Grandpa Ralph. Yeah. How many more times can Muhammad say SPX? Go ahead and watch the S&P 500 futures analysis that I do every single morning here on the live stream. Go ahead and rewind the live stream. Press that like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah.